Welcome back to this explainer. Okay, so we're going to rapidly break down a mathematically backed blueprint designed to completely yank you out of the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle. Look, if you constantly feel like your money just magically vanishes the second it hits your bank account, you are definitely in the right place. Today, we're unpacking 3 specific, powerful money rules that nobody taught you in school, but that will absolutely transform your financial landscape.
All right, let's jump straight into part 1, the paycheck-to-paycheck trap. Because before we can start building serious wealth, we really need to identify the exact trap that's keeping us stuck.
I want you to ask yourself honestly, are you totally tired of living paycheck to paycheck? Because here's the hard truth. If you're paying everyone else first, your landlord, Netflix, your favorite local takeout spot, before you actually pay yourself, you are trapped in a totally backwards system. Most people just save whatever happens to be left over at the end of the month. And let's be real, that's usually zero. That right there, that's the trap. But hey, here is the good news. We are going to look at 3 undeniably powerful, mathematically sound rules that will completely shift your mindset. We're talking about moving from passive, accidental spending to proactive wealth building. And these aren't just vague, fluffy concepts. They are strict, practical guidelines perfectly designed to drop your debt to zero and maximize your total freedom. So, let's hit Rule 1. Pay yourself first. This is the first pillar, and honestly, the most important foundational defense for your finances.
You absolutely must pay yourself first. Basically, this means automatically moving 20% of your income straight to savings and investments, treating it as an unskippable bill. Now, the absolute keyword here is automatically. If you don't treat your future self with the exact same urgency as your rent or your electricity bill, I promise you, Netflix in your local coffee shop will gladly take every last dime. It works like this. The absolute second your paycheck hits, boom, you split it. A solid 20% slice breaks away from the pack to work exclusively for you. You then live your life off the remaining 80%. That chunk covers your rent, your groceries, your bills, all the regular stuff. But that 20%, that is your untouchable wealth engine.
And let's actually put some real numbers to this, because the math is wild. Turning that 20% into just $500 a month at an average 8% return, that yields a staggering $350,000 in exactly 20 years. So, while everyone else is scratching their heads wondering where their money went, yours is just quietly compounding and growing in the background.
Moving right along to Rule 2, the 24-hour rule. Think of this as your personal shield against modern consumer culture.
We are constantly, literally every day, bombarded with buy now buttons. But you really have to visualize where your money is actually going. Sure, a $60 impulse buy on a new pair of shoes gives you a quick, fun dopamine hit. But that exact same $60, if it's sitting and compounding in an investment jar, that literally buys your future freedom. It's night and day.
Let's think about those small leaks for a second. Those tiny, daily $12 wastes. The random app subscriptions you forgot about, the extra iced coffee, those little late-night Amazon orders. $12 a day seems entirely harmless, right? Well, actually scratch that. When you factor in the lost investment growth over 10 years, that explodes into over $43,000. 43 grand. That is literally your future eating itself.
So, to stop this bleed, you just force a mandatory 24-hour waiting period on any non-essential purchase over $50. It's a hard and fast rule, no exceptions. If it costs more than $50 and you don't literally need it to survive, you close the browser tab, you walk out of the store, you go home, and you sleep on it.
The result of forcing this little pause is honestly shocking. 80% of the time you're going to wake up the next day and realize you didn't even really want the thing. The impulse just completely fades away. And here's the best part. You take that saved cash and you instantly funnel it right into your investment account. You're basically rewarding your own self-discipline with wealth.
All right, on to Rule 3, the 3x income test. This is exactly how you play defense against those massive purchases. Before you ever swipe your card for a major expense, we're talking a big vacation, a new laptop, a designer bag, you must relentlessly ask yourself one question. Could I afford to buy 3 of these right now without going into debt? Seriously, if the answer is no, then we're sorry, but you simply cannot afford one.
Here is exactly how that test plays out in real life. Say you're eyeing a brand new $1,000 laptop. Multiply that by 3. Okay, that's $3,000. Now look at your current monthly income. If you bring home less than $3,000 a month, you do not buy the laptop. It's a binary yes or no. It completely removes all that tricky, emotional guesswork from big spending.
Okay, blueprint for financial freedom. Let's tie all three of these pillars together into a totally cohesive strategy that you can implement today to change your entire trajectory.
By paying yourself first, by sleeping on your spending, and by triple-checking those big buys, this completely stress-free financial state actually becomes your new reality. Imagine just opening up your bank app and seeing a steadily growing bar chart. No suffocating debt hanging over your head, no panic attacks about how you're going to cover the next unexpected expense. It's just peace.
Now, you might be thinking this all sounds super strict, but far from being a tight budget that ties you down, remember this: these rules aren't restrictive, they're freedom. Applying the 20% rule, utilizing the 24-hour rule for anything over $50, and enforcing that 3x test, that is not a punishment. You are actively buying your own liberty to build serious, lasting wealth.
I highly recommend saving this explainer so you can revisit these 3 rules whenever you feel tempted to slip back into old habits. And definitely get ready for our next phase where we're going to unpack exactly where to direct that 20%. So the ultimate question I want to leave you with today is this: are you going to keep making everybody else rich, or are you finally ready to pay yourself?